Anthony Alexander, Distinguished Toastmaster, District Director.
Thank you, Trevor, and thank you and welcome everyone for attending our final winter TLI and my final TLI as District Director for each and every one of you. This one hits a little bit more home for me because you never think that it's going to be your final TLI, and it's probably not going to be my final TLI. I'm pretty sure that Trevor, Audrey, and whoever is going to come after this is going to invite me back. But again, this one resonates a little bit more because there's a lot of things that have to do with this topic that hit home for me. For those of you that know me well and are close to me, this week is actually the anniversary of the death of my grandfather and the death of my grandmother. So 2 years back to back.
Wow.
My grandmother and grandfather passed away, and they were huge contributors to what actually drives me to go into business, go into nonprofit, do the best that I could possibly do in terms of everything that I execute upon. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But let's start off with a story that has to do with, I want to say, 19 years ago when I was graduating high school. Now, when I was in school, there was a point where I lost most of my motivation to do anything in terms of schoolwork. Basically, I didn't have that drive. I didn't have that passion for anything that I was contributing within my classes and all of that until I joined Business Professionals of America. I competed at a national level for 3 years, and I finally was re-energized to go into business, start to study closer to become a business professional, and that's what I wanted to do to go into college. When I went into my exit interview for high school, and this is one of the interviews that all of the graduating seniors had to go through just to talk to our guidance counselor about what our goals and ambitions of what we wanted to strive for as we exited high school. When I went into my exit interview and started talking about my passion for business and the things that I've achieved in the past 2 years in Business Professionals of America and what I wanted to do going forward, she responded with a very hearty belly laugh. Like one of those laughs that felt like I was talking to Santa Claus, like, ho, 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 ho. One of those laughs. And in that moment, I thought two things. First and foremost, I'm not shocked that we have a graduation success rate of 45% at this high school because of this. And two, I don't think this is one of the people that drives me to be successful. So regardless of what she has to say throughout the rest of this conversation, I'm going to go ahead and go into school, go into business, and show her wrong. Now, in one of those aspects, you would say that this was a bad motivating factor for me by going to this guidance counselor, getting that type of reaction. And the inverse for most students would have happened that they would have came out of that conversation and thought, man, maybe I shouldn't go for this. But this drives the importance of a strong backing behind any individual to drive or succeed. There is a big difference between positive and negative motivation. There is a big difference in terms of the people that are backing you behind your corner that mentor you to be successful. And those two individuals were just so happened to be my grandfather on my mother's side and my grandmother on my father's side. Now, my grandfather was one of those very old school Southern drawl type of individuals that was always confident, always positive in himself, and one of those individuals that if you look to, and if he had a goal, he had a mission, regardless of what obstacles were in his way, he was going to go ahead and do it. Now, with my grandfather, he always inspired me to be able to do my very best whenever it was something that I wanted to do. So even when I was not getting good grades in school, when I may not have been doing the right things to be successful, he was one of those individuals that never scolded me for that. But he was the individual that was like, as long as you find the path to whatever makes you happy and makes you, do that. And that's one of the people that I had backing in my corner, where if I were to go into an exit interview with a guidance counselor If I had any haters behind me, I always looked to my grandfather to know, listen to him. He's the guiding force to help me know that I just need to stay myself and stay my course. My grandmother on my father's side is a little bit different. She was the one that really had purpose and focus in terms of driving and motivating someone in a positive way. She's the one that gave me an algebra book at the age of 5 to get me into math. And regardless of anything that I ever did within school, her one question whenever I talked to my grandmother when going through school was, are you passing English and are you passing math? If you are doing those two things, I am forever proud of you, because that's going to get you to be successful in business. Because you need to be able to articulate, you need to be able to write, and you need to be able to problem solve through numbers. So that's all I care about. And my parents would always be angry at my grandmother for telling me this, because that almost gave me a golden ticket to be unsuccessful in all of these other classes. But at least her motivation was purposeful. So it was something where if she was able to motivate me to show me the value in something, that was always going to help me stay the course. I think everyone knows the ending, or at least the interlude to this story. I am now a regional manager for a private bank in Boston. I have successfully graduated with 2 degrees from Johnson Wales University. I'm actually just got accepted for my master's and will be pursuing that soon. I am a board member of 2 nonprofits in Rhode Island where I'm helping raise money for individuals that may not have the tools or may not have the ability to be successful in their own right, and try to contribute to at-risk families that just need to find different aspects for youth to thrive and find their passion. In that exit interview, that was a negative motivating driver to show her wrong. So I am forever grateful for that exit interview, because that is another driving force. But we need to know the difference of what drives individuals and what can we do to mentor them better. And that's the purpose of today's TLI. What are the differences of positive and negative motivation? How do we properly mentor our members to succeed and thrive, whether they want to be a better leader, be a better speaker, or somewhere in between? And how do we build better speeches to make that aha moment happen for our members when we go into our club? I am so excited for the material that Trevor has put together for this TLI, because this is my favorite topic to discuss with everyone. And I can't wait to share some stories with each and every one of you to see how we can make all of our experiences for our members, and also us as fellow officers and each of our Toastmasters members. The last question in that exit interview that I had with my guidance counselor was, do you really want this? And with the strong mentors that I had behind me, with the support system that I had behind me, I could confidently say yes to that question. What I want you to come out of this TLI with is being able to ask yourself that question, and ask any Toastmasters member that question, and continually say yes to Toastmasters to succeed and thrive.